Good afternoon, iRacers. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and the Sim Racers Asia GT Championship. I'm joined by Brenton O'Brien, and I've got a huge smile on my face because we're back for some Sim Racer Asia action. It's been a little while, Brenton. I'm in the box with you as well. It seems like ages ago we've done this, but we're back. I'm loving it.
It seems like ages ago because it was ages ago. I am so pumped, looking forward to this tonight. Great to see you again, Alex, as usual. So, mate, it's just going to be some fantastic racing tonight and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're at Indianapolis, of course, for this race meeting as well. Just looking at track conditions out there at the moment. Ignore the lap record. I've been a bit tardy and haven't got that updated. But yeah, it looks pretty hot. 26-degree temperature out there. Not a lot of wind, but blazingly clear sun out there. Not a cloud in the sky. So you know, tyres are going to take a bit of punishment in this race. Going to get a little bit greasy. I think we're not expecting anyone to take tyres at the mandatory pit stop, but there may be some that decide to actually do it in the end.
No, I wouldn't think so. It's a big lot to take tyres. They take fuel, then they take tyres. They don't do it at the same time. It's just going to hurt too much. Even to take fuel, it's going to cause pain anything up to about 11 seconds. So probably think they're going to wash that away. 46-degree track temperature is not favourable for a lot of these cars, but you know, it's just so good to be back. Sim Racers Asia. Mark Lang does a fantastic job organising this. Had a few health problems after a bit of a scare there not so long ago, so it's great to see that he's back on board, you know, leading this by example and putting the great show on week in, week out.
Yeah, let's just give a quick shout out to the series sponsors as well. So Sim Racing Real Experience, we'll get their logo up next week. Haven't had quite enough time to get it sorted out, as well as our broadcast partner as well, JCL Sim Racing. It's yeah, it's great to be back, Brenton. We've only got a minute and a half left of qualifying before we start to see some action. I mean, let's just talk about the number of cars we've got out there at the moment, 53. And yeah, every single grid spot has been taken. We've got drivers waiting in the wings who wanted to get in, but unfortunately missed out.
Yeah, well, it's how it's been run, though, isn't it? And it's a success that it's been done. But yeah, 53 cars. A lot more cars nominated than that, so those who arrive late sadly do miss out. But you know, hopefully they'll be back, and or Mark might think of starting a second server. That's up to him. But like we said, the new cars, you know, we've got the new Audi, which was released a few weeks ago, the new Mercedes-Benz, which was released a few weeks ago. That goes with the old favourites with the rough that I know a lot of the guys like, and the McLaren MP412C, which is just a powerhouse around here and is going to be a hot favourite to win tonight.
I'm going to struggle immensely tonight, I swear. I'm just going to have to call it McLaren. As soon as I start saying MP4, then I know I'm going to blurb out 30. The MP430. It's just going to happen at some point. Drinking games are afoot, I reckon, every time I say it. Take a shot, because yeah, you're going to be pretty merry by the end of the night, I'm sure.
The good old Macca, there we go. But anyway, qualifying does only have the 20 seconds to go, and like you said, it's a full grid, 53 cars. Not everyone's got a time in, mind you. I do notice Aaron Osborne, Chang Yun Kim, and Jake Maloney haven't got times in, so hoping that they make the effort to race and haven't just showed up and blocked a spot. That would be disappointing if those three guys have done that.
Yeah, I agree on that front. Well, the check flag is out, so everybody who's on a lap can, of course, complete it. I dare say we're going to struggle to go through the grid if we wait. So do you want to take us through the provisional stand-ins as they are? If anything changes, then hopefully we can catch it right at the end.
Yeah, as predicted, the McLaren is going to, I was going to say MP412C there, but I don't want to. The McLaren has got self-pole position on 125.569 in the capable hands of Hyun-Sul Lee, a non-familiar name to the SRA, so it's great to have him in the series. Anthony Winkleman, we know of, has raced previously here at 25.781, so 0.2 of a second difference there with Anthony in the BMW. Very, very surprising that the BMW has got itself so far up on the grid. Just the 1/100th of a second back to Kevin Huang, has been in the series for quite a while. Great to see the car 212 return. Zach Hamlin, who's making his first appearance for Evolution Racing Australia in the Audi at 25.805 in front of Andika Maluna, who we do know at 842. Damon McPhee in the sister ERA car at 25.882. Dongwoo Gang also in the Audi at 25.9. He'd be disappointed with that time in 7th position, considering his practice time was a 25.7, so he's actually dropped those 2 tenths of a second. Muhammad Ali, no, not the boxer. Muhammad Ali Ishak, 26.2 in 8th. Josh Rogers in the TTL McLaren. Would have expected him to be up a bit higher. Might have had some trouble with traffic getting blocked there with a 26.254. Nathan Grouden has been with us before, 26.335. We'll round out that top 10, but let's face it, we've got 25.7 for second place. 1 second covers between second and 21st position, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, as crazy as the rest of the grid spots are just ticking over on your screen at the moment. Like returning faces, I have to say, to the series, you know, and some new faces as well, which is good. So it really does seem almost like we've just picked up where we left off with the drivers that are in on here. So it just goes to show the kind of loyalty that everybody had to mark in these series, because you know you put on such a great series for, what was it, a good year and a half, I think we were covering them before the break.
Yep, with the GT1s and the GT3. I'm just going to confirm to you that we will have 50 stars. Chung Yun Kim, I got to admit, I'm not a fan of this guy, so if you're listening and you're out there, this is not how you want to do business. Chung Yun Kim is not with us. Aaron Osborne is not with us, and Jake Maloney is not with us. They will not be starters. That's all that's doing is taking up spots of those who do want to race.
Did hear from Jake Maloney. He joined, but unfortunately his PC just cannot handle the amount of cars that are out there. So he's having massive frame rate issues. So he posted to let us know that, so that's understandable, because you know, you don't want to get out there and ruin other people's races. So yeah, I can understand.
I'm sure that Jake, he does a lot of V8 supercar driving with TTL. Good strong team, good reputation. There'd be nothing untoward there, I'm sure. So, but I'm glad Jake did make the effort to knock that up, because it is a big grid, 53 cars. You don't see that in the V8 supercars that he generally races week in, week out. But wow, what a grid. Starting behind the safety car, long safety car lap here. Gives a bit of a chance to, talk about some of these great liveries as well. There's some great looking cars out there.
There's also a lot of standard looking cars out there as well. So we're just, I've seen some pure white ones as well at that. So people not quite got the painters to polish up the new cars that are out there. Of course, 2 new cars, so it's understandable. I have to say, we haven't got ours done yet as well, so desperate to get it done.
Oh, I reckon it might be UAC, no offence, mate, but there's not a single white car amongst them. Every car on my screen is looking really schmick at the moment there, mate. Not a single white car. But on the grid, like I said, it's good to have this mix, isn't it? The McLaren on the pole, that BMW really surprises me that it's qualified in second place in the hands of Anthony Winkleman. That's a big performance there. Just watch for the unbelievable advantage that the McLaren has in a straight line. Kevin Huang in that awesome looking McLaren Archipelago Racing, the car 272. That's a Jake Blackwell Night Riders designed car there. His teammate, sorry, I'm going to be clicking away there, Andika Maluna, who we do know as well, is got a sister car. There's actually quite a few of those Archipelago cars, so watch out for them with their Planet Earth livery, like the old Honda back in the day.
Seems to be trading paints has crashed, so I'm quickly scrambling to try and get the liveries all downloaded on the pace lap here.
Well, whilst you're doing that there, AC, we can give you a bit of talk and proof. But yeah, 45-minute race, there is a mandatory pit stop. But by saying that, there's no expectation these guys are going to take tyres and or fuel. That early testing from the Audi is that it's an absolute pig to drive on full fuel. So whether the Audis take some fuel on board just to balance themselves out, maybe, but it's such a disadvantage to do so. I would imagine a lot of these guys are just going to be doing stop-start, get on their way. So a lot of it's going to come down to some strategy. Really surprised that the Audis have qualified as high as they have. Like, we got the 2 base cars, I call them, the McLaren and the BMW really are the base cars. They've been around for a while, tried and tested. But to have the 2 Audis, the ERA Audis behind them, that's an outstanding performance by those guys there, and looking forward to see what they can do. And also, like I said, it's just a swarm of McLarens blocking up the front. I've got a feeling that the first Mercedes is going to be Mick Hammond. Yes, it is. So Michael Hammond in that car 1 Mercedes is the first there in 11th on the grid, as the guys are starting to get a bit frisky here as they'll come onto the oval section, and we'll see that pace car disappear shortly. AC, we're about to start season 1 of 2016 Sim Racers Asia.
Yeah, we're 80% down on the livery, so apologies for that. We'll get that up, get them up and running as soon as we possibly can, but we'll be going green. There are a lot of default ones out there, but here we go. Along our run to the straight, pace car will duck off. Doesn't take the normal line, really keeps the drivers bunched back up. 50 cars out there, looks like an impressive sight.
It is an impressive sight, isn't it? And the pace car will duck off soon. And watch for the early takeaway here. And away. And as predicted, Hyun-Soo Lee has absolutely jettisoned away in that McLaren. And the McLarens, just with their raw straight line speed, are going to take massive advantage here. Oh. Look out for some tight incidents here to turn 1. That's Damien McPhee in the background there. And Zach Hamlin has got himself through to 3rd. Looks like a pretty clean start so far. 50 cars, all of different makes and models, have got themselves away. Clean start, fantastic to see.
Yeah, awesome. That's exactly what we wanted for the start. Maybe a couple of people with some problems.
Yeah, just in the background there, sorry, saw a Mercedes going off. Looks like an Angry Birds Racing Mercedes has gone off there in the background. Didn't see who that was, can no doubt get to them. But it looks like it's fairly clean apart from that. Yeah, no, it does look all right. Kim Kyung-ao has made a mistake. But outside of that, no, it looks pretty good.
Sorry, got to do the inevitable refresh on the paints. It has to be done, I'm afraid. Let's get all these done, and we've downloaded them all, so couldn't quite get it before the green flag drop.
Well, let's just see what Hyun-Soo Lee can do. This is his debut race in Sim Racers Asia, don't forget. So it's fantastic to see a new driver, and straight away out of the box, let's just see the absolute straight line power of Hyun-Soo Lee. But you've got Kevin Huang behind him, and Zach Hanlon, the first of the non-traditional cars, shall we say, none of the base cars, in that Audi. He'll be really, really happy to be in that position, tucked up behind the back wing of that McLaren MP412C. It's going to give him just that little bit extra drag, less drag in that straight line. And behind him, Anthony Winkelman just got absolutely blown away off that start line. The BMW slowest in the straight line, better around these tight handling sections as we are through here. Handles extremely well and gets some really good drive out of these slower corners too. So expect the McLaren to be great in the straight line. The Audi to be, well, the Audi's going to struggle long race, I think, but that BMW will just stick with it all day. So Dongwoo Gang also 5th position. Dave McPhee debut for him. Josh Rogers has made some ground in that McLaren as well, starting from 8th in the grid. Oh no, settled in at 8th as well, so just a couple of laps ago made a pass.
Someone around, Carlos Fu around, his BMW there. Trying to see where that is. I think that's just coming out of the first sector. He's just backed his car out of the way just to make sure he doesn't get anything.
Damage to the front as well.
He's having to wait for everyone to stream past, and so frustrating because nothing you can do. Huge grid just flowing through. Oh, and he's got some major damage there, as well.
Yeah, he's got a major hit to the front left there. So thinking that that's going to be a good night nurse to him. And so long as he doesn't take anyone with him here, he's got the host, and he has.
Yeah.
That's the host, Mark Lang. Tim Ballinger also slightly affected, didn't get any damage there. Oh, gee whiz, you don't like to see that.
On the first lap again. Do you remember when we had that before? Yeah, exactly. Just want to get out that pack nice and early, get into some fresh air. So, you know, a bit of strategy we're coming into play already when to use that pit stop.
Well, Paul Rogers is an old favourite here. Winner, I think he was in the GT1 class a while ago. And look, see, stop go. There's no fuel going in those cars. There's no tyres going in those cars. There's no time to muck around. I'm not sure if you're up in the top 15, top 20, you want to be doing that straight away. It's going to give you a little bit of clear air, but you're going to be working your way through. Rogers has came into the pits. Where was he? In 26th position now, already down to 31st. Going to have a clear track, it has to be said. It's not going to be clear that much longer.
Yeah, we just saw Winkelman giving Zachary a little bit of a nudge from behind. Just that's really where the BMW is going to come into its sort of strength in that midfield section.
Yeah, well, if you're Winkelmann, do you stop now? I wouldn't think there'd be a need to be honest with you. 26.593 last lap for Zach Hanlon, 26.487, 26.566. That was for lap 2 as they crossed the strike for lap 3, 26.423. So quick times here by this leading pack. And the pack's not drifting away too much. Really surprised these two McLarens haven't been able to pull away together. The elastic band stretching just a little bit. Dongwoo Gang, this is the guy that I was picking to be the best of the Audi runners tonight. Started 7th up into 5th. Josh Rogers has made a move and got successfully past the ERA Audi of Damien McPhee. So, you know, right now these Audi guys, they're just trying to survive this week. There's 11 races in the series. This is going to be probably their worst race. Probably also with the BMW. The McLaren is just a bigger tennis racket around here. It is such a quick car in a straight line, and if you don't win in the McLaren or don't put a top 5, then you should be asking some questions.
More people pitting early as well, just wanting that clear air. So they're going to come out right at the back of the pack now, though. So you're right. I think the strategy that did work so well in previous seasons, drivers were using that. Just with this huge grid, it's just not going to pan out, because in 3 or 4 laps they're going to be right on the back end of the slower drivers out there, and any advantage that they're going to gain is just going to be completely and utterly lost. So yeah, everybody just sort of remembered the past strategies, and I think it's going to backfire big time for them.
Yeah, I do too. 25.5 was the pole position, but let's go down to the guys who came 50th. A 1:31.1. Go.
Someone was around there on the main straight. I'm not sure who that was as well. So could have been Paul Rogers, I think. Just looks like he's just jumped out.
Is their leader? No, it's not our leader. I thought he was around, but no. Sorry, just having a look. Yeah, so let's talk about pitting early. There's 6 seconds difference between first and last on the grid. You don't want to be caught behind a faster McLaren in a straight line that didn't have a great quali session, because you're not going to get through on a straight line. And Josh Rogers makes a mistake also. So Josh, extremely quick in the Australian V8, does a fantastic job. Winner of last week's round 1 in the official series at Monza by a hair breadth there. Has struggled in the early days of the V8 Supercar Scops Championship. Has quick pace, tends to make a mistake or two. Doesn't drive the McLaren a lot, doesn't drive any GT3 a lot, but he's spreading his wings. Started off in the Formula Renault last Thursday night, did a reasonably good job there. I think this is the beginning of Josh Rogers trying to get to be pro for next year's Blonde Paint Endurance Series.
Hunso Lee just pulling away a little bit now, 1.2 seconds clear, not quite out of the draft, but very nearly. Kevin Hung coming under pressure from Zachary. Winkelmann behind, just sort of holding in there as well, using the draft of the faster 2 cars ahead, and Dongwoo Gang trying to get back onto the back of this pack. He's got 1.4 seconds. He'll hope that they start to have a little battle as Zachary looks for a move down into turn 1. Doesn't have to worry about the cones that are out there now. Of course, the Indianapolis circuit being replaced with the curb, and Zachary makes a mistake in that attempted move, and we've got Winkelmann trying to go around the outside. The downforce, the BMW, this is where it's going to come into effect. It's going to have to hold it through the flat out right hand and can't quite do it.
No, can't quite do a good drive. That Audi looks like a handful though, doesn't it? The mid corner, it is, you know, I speak to the boys obviously quite a bit this week. The mid corner, the Audi has just struggled. One moment it's oversteer, next minute it's understeer. Not a lot of consistency. Let's not forget though, iRacing are bringing out a update for these cars. The McLaren, from what we understand, is going to be hit with a 10 kilogram penalty. The BMW just the 5. Updates are going to be happening aero wise, from what we understand, to the Audi and to the Mercedes, so that should make them more competitive. By saying that lead Audi at the moment has got himself into a really good little position, up into 3rd position, so it does need a lot more straight line speed. I was just actually having a look last lap at the BMW. I think it was of who was that? Paul Lonergan, undrafted in the BMW. That car was only reaching 264 down the main straight, which is way off the pace. I'm just going to compare that with the McLaren of Kevin Wang. Well, he's already peaking 274, 275 right now, got to. So that's 11 k's an hour faster down the straight line. That's free money.
Brian Littlemore and Halabi there having a little battle down the street. Little Moore's got the run. And moves himself up into 10th place. Got Nathan Groden just ahead of him now. Like 2.6 seconds ahead, that is.
Yeah, and Brian Borg looks like he's had some issues as well. And
oh, there's a mistake. I think that's yeah, Damien McPhee there as well. Just having a big moment. Let's take a quick replay and look what that was, because he's pulled it up already. So huge problems for Damien in your ERA car, mate.
Yeah, and he's already left the server as well. So yeah, that's his debut race tonight. So he'll be disappointed. He's put a lot of hours in. They'll be. Actually, is he? I'm not sure what's happened.
Had a little wiggle before the right-hander. I have to say, it's just a self-spin and a little tap from the back.
He's actually just dropped out, so I'm thinking he might have had an issue because he's actually disconnected completely from my server, and I did see that his ping was fairly high, so wondering if there was an issue there.
Thank you for everybody tuning in. Of course, this time we're on iRacing Live, as well as streaming out on Apex Racing YouTube channel too. Thank you for iRacing getting us on there. Zachary again, side by side. Oh, we've got some netcode issues going on there.
Yep.
That gives you absolute kittens in the car when you start to see that as well.
Yeah, this looks like there's a bit of an attack here. Kevin Huang is coming and going as he pleases. Unfortunately, at the moment, not sure Kev's going to be with us much longer because that qual is on its way down at the moment. So mechanical issues on board that car at the moment, and that's really. Don't
say mechanical issues. It's got rubbish internet right now. Come on.
Okay,
say it for what it is. Say it for what it is.
Right, he's got rubbish internet right now, and
he's hitting that lag switch button. It's his defense button.
Well, it's working because right now, like.
You can't get by, can you? If you're Zachary, you cannot get by. You can't risk anything.
Get by. No, and I'll tell you what, it's starting to pick up. There is slight improvement, but yeah, you can't get by. You can't make a move, and you know it's part of it, isn't it? It's a bit unfortunate. We don't want to concentrate on it too much, but you know it's not improving really much at all here.
Done a little look further down. Ben Twindle and Dazreen here as well, having a little battle. This is for 18th and 19th. They're just 0.3 of a second back. Ben in the new Merc. We haven't seen too many of the Mercs up front. Brenton, what's your feedback from the team in regards to that one?
Haven't done a lot of laps. They seem to handle fairly well. Big heavy cars, a lot of power.
Looks slow.
But yeah, I think it is.
Top in the draft and just losing ground at the moment.
The straight line speed's not real pretty with it.
Yeah, right.
But
in
again,
the draft of that McLaren ahead of him as well. Was only 2 kilometers an hour difference on my live timing screen. Should have pulled that up really. So yeah, really struggling.
Yeah, they do. Tyre life's going to be an issue as well. 45 minutes. They'll get by, and they'll get by reasonably comfortable. But you know, which cars chew up their tyres the most, we don't know yet. And I know we did a debut race last week at the SRA GT3 Championship here in Australia, dominated by the McLarens, but the McLarens dropped off by about a second and a half a lap over a long race distance. So yeah, I don't know if I'd expect that here at Indianapolis. I really wouldn't. But yeah, there is some degradation happening. The rough was actually, the Audi was actually pretty good on the tyres from what I understand.
Donald Gaines caught up to the back of this pack, I think, with all of the connectivity issues going out there. Zachary making a move up the inside, flashes his lights, lets him know he's coming through, runs extremely deep, gets it sideways. Oh, just about collects it back up. He wants to get by. He can see Hunter Lee just pulling away at the moment. Winkleman just can't capitalise on that as well. Oh, he has a look up the inside. This could be his opportunity though.
That Audi's tyres are cooked. They are absolutely cooked. He's having a hard time keeping that in a straight line at the moment. 27 flat last lap. 27.5 for Kevin Hayes a touch.
Winkleman together. Donald again tries to slip up the inside. They just didn't see him there. Let's hope there's no damage, but
I don't think they were real hard hits. There's no doubt about that. The cars look okay. But these guys are getting a bit frisky, and you
well,
don't want to be seeing that. Hopefully both cars will be alright. That was a bit ordinary.
I have to say that was a bit ordinary. Exactly.
No, it was very ordinary. There's no doubt about that at all. Really ordinary, and no doubt there'll be a chat later on because that's not what we want to see. But
well, let's let Dongwu Gang up and into third place. Let's see what kind of performance he's got. See if he can catch back up to Kevin Hunt. So, shame really. That was a great battle for P2, and I think had they sorted themselves out, they would have got back up to Winkleman into the pits as well. So he's obviously going to get his damage.
Zach Hanlon, what has happened there? Zach's tried to come into the pits. Oh, this has just all gone completely south for that car. He's tried to come into the pits. He's missed the pit entry, so he's slowed right down, missed the pit entry, and then had to come back out onto the main straight, doing it about 70 k's an hour compared to everyone's 270 k's. He has dropped a hell of a lot of positions, and that car has got a bit of damage expecting the pit next lap, but that will be, gee whiz, he's gone from third position and now he's backdoored. He's right out of the running now.
He was lucky not to collect anybody else there. You're right, just got the braking wrong. There's a nasty great big bump, isn't there, going into that pit lane, and he just hit that. And like you say, with the car as it is at the moment, just got his rear just got all out of shape, and he had no choice but to bail out of it. Just lucky no one else piled into him there. But from bad to worse for that lap, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he's done a little laps practice here, so he's going to be a bit filthy on himself. Just probably needs to calm down a bit. Really, he's been in an incident, then probably created an incident. To be fair, I would say he has. He doesn't want to make a bad situation worse, and he'll learn from that. But out the front, meanwhile, it's just getting better and better for Hyun-Soo Lee. He's just chucked in a 27.2, so the tyre wear is fairly significant already, surprisingly. His fastest lap so far in the race was, his fastest lap in the race was 26.4. He's already 8/10 off that.
Yeah, so dropping quite quickly. Just having a look at an old, just returning name as well. DK Lee closing in on Gary Cousins as well. So a few drivers starting to pit now as well. Deciding now is the time to do it. I wonder if they're still doing their stop-go kind of pit stop, or if any are going to take tyres. And DK moves up into 12th place. He's going to be chasing down Paul Nelson now, who's again another returning name.
Yeah, and for some reason, I'm just having a look on Zach Hanlon's car. It's a long stop. It's not just for damage. It's actually a long stop. So I'm thinking he's taking fuel. I don't think he... Yeah, it's something that they'll need to think about. This is his first race, but he's there for a long while. So I would dare say that his race is... Yeah, he's going to be cooked, no doubt. Unfortunately for him, made a mistake. I don't think at the end of it it's a bad result. He was up in the third, so... Good little debut start. Probably got too heavily involved
going on as well. I think he's forgot to deselect them, hasn't he? So once you do that, that's it. And got Dongwu Gang into the pits as well. Josh Rogers goes through and into third. Maluna as well. There's so many returning names.
Yeah, like I said, watch out for Josh Rogers. Extremely quick, good young fella. Will put in some continued hard, consistent laps. Got himself up in the third. Yeah, there's been some pit stops from ninth on the grid. Just 7 seconds off the lead, though. His last lap of 27.404, certainly competitive with our leader.
I'll be into the pits as well.
So as it stands at the moment, I think we do...
8 second stop, for Dongwu Gang. That's pretty long. I know they're only sort of stopping and going, but some of them we've seen have been like 1.1 seconds, so that could hurt him a little bit. You don't want to lose 2 or 3 seconds. And who did he come out? He come out behind Winkleman, so Winkleman gets back ahead of him. So that's very, very key.
Yeah, and just having a look, top 4 positions, as we kind of predicted with the McLarens. It's certainly the strongest car here, and then Nathan Grouden will be the first of our non-McLaren. It's almost Class B at this track, to be honest with you. But some cars have had a pit stop. We'll be interested to see when Maluna wants to pit. Also, Josh Rogers, Kevin Huang, and our lead. I can't see them needing to pit, to be honest with you. They're not going to be taking tyres. Josh Rogers actually now in pit lane, keeping half an eye on this. It looks like a pretty good entry. There's that little bump just there that you were talking about before. That looks all fairly clean.
Just jumped on board with the number 18 car in 18th place at the moment, Federico. I'm sorry, buddy, but yeah, our overlay just cannot handle the length of your name there, so we'll try and do some sort of abbreviation for the next race as well. But we're missing off three parts of his name there, so awesome. Who else have we got going into the pits? So Josh into the pits now as well.
Well, the interesting thing is, where does he come out? I didn't actually take the time to see if he spent any time. He's taking tyres
or something, because this is 15, 16 seconds. So I look like just tyres or just fuel. Yeah, so put some way down. So yeah, you're right. A few people not 100% up to speed on what the possible options are.
Yeah, I think that it's just inexperience by Josh more than anything. It's his first race as well, we have to remember. So yeah, really, it's just, and for all those listening and team managers and spotters out there, just get you guys to come in, stop, go. Literally stop, go. Don't take tyres, don't take fuels, just get back into it. What it really does is try, and I think what Mark's trying to do is clear the pack. Wouldn't be that disappointed if Mark...
stop call for Kevin Hung. Will he get an unsafe... Oh, his teammate's spinning in front of him as well. This could be nasty, into the wall. Everybody's avoided him so far.
Wow. Gee whiz. It doesn't rain, it pours. I was just trying to say, though, I'd love Mark to introduce reducing the fuel capacity to make the guys have a fuel stop. I would love to see that. That's what I think it needs. This is a little bit Mickey Mouse stuff, to be honest with you. Just stop, go.
That car still just sat there on the outside lane as well. I hadn't even realised.
When can it move?
Oh, man, where's he going? What's he doing? Who is it?
Oh, don't do it there. Go backwards. Wow, this is Matty Trotman's coming around. Oh, Josh Rogers almost got absolutely smashed. Oh, this is... he's got a bit of a gap here. You've got Pete Sattler and Justin Parkinson.
Oh, it's going to be
Is he going to be clear? This is getting uglier. Oh, man. Press the escape button, boy. I think Pete Sattler described that perfectly. I think he said, heck, that was close, but I don't think it was really a heck. Wow. So, Yak Jung from 45th position.
I will say, you waited till there was room, but I think, yeah. That was scary stuff for a little while there. Thought we were going to have a massive crash.
Oh, I thought we were about to have liftoff. I really did there. Our leader, in the meantime, is heavily amongst lapping the cars here already. The who was that? Just getting lapped, 29th position, getting lapped. Hasn't stopped yet. Has to be known.
Yeah, a lot of people have stopped now as well.
Yeah, that's right. But look this is what's happened. We've talked about Josh Rogers before. Was 7 seconds down. I know he's had his pit stop. He's now 52 seconds behind, so that's a real shame for Josh. But he'll be back next week, no doubt, hoping. Where we've got a Spa next week, so looking forward to that already. Where these guys, the McLaren will even itself out by next week, I'm sure, and you won't see the domination that you get this week.
Worth pointing out that Winkelmann come out I think it was 1.5 seconds behind Kevin Hung, so the call to come in for the pits was definitely the right thing for him. Kevin's just overtaken a couple of cars. That's Paul Nelson and James Reen there as well. So moving up, that's obviously the new tyres really come into effect. So Winkelmann got a lot of pace in that BMW, but just not being able to use it when he gets tucked up behind the cars that are slower in the infield section.
Tell you what's a bit ordinary about him. Andrew Booth, been watching that. That's another Archipelago car, the car 92. He's down in 31st, getting blocked. That was some of the worst blocking I've seen on Nathan Groudon and Ryan Littlemore that I've seen in a long while. That was pretty blatant team stuff there. Nathan Groudon's gone from a 27.8 to a 30.7. He's lost 3 seconds, stuck behind that Archipelago car. And I'll tell you right now, it's not what's going to be needed for, there's enough Archipelago cars here that you don't need to be doing things like that to block to try and get your teammate up there.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, and again, he's just he knows who he's racing against. He's down in 30th position at the moment, and he's got now Paul Lonergan behind him, and also a really hard charging Jason Bentz. So Bentz has lost a lap early here, so he's recovering. But let's just see if Andrew gets out of their way. He doesn't need to get out of the way of the Jason Bentz car, but I'm not sure what he'll do with Paul Lonergan behind him in 4th position. But no, even still, he's finding new ways of getting in the way here. Just ducks out of the way there for Andrew Booth. Tucks in front of the car, Paul Lonergan. Let's see if he gets out of the way at all.
Just
look at that. That's just brake checking.
I've just switched up and focused on to
and again
Littlemore and Groden as they're 0.6 of a second back. Don't need to worry about that. Let Mark sort that out afterwards.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to sit on the fence here, AC. I'm hoping Andrew Booth enjoys a holiday next week, because that's ordinary what he's doing. And Paul Lonergan is actually chatting about it right now. Just blue flags waving.
A little more up the inside of Groden for what is P2. Late on the brakes as well. Gets the car stops. That's lovely.
Yeah, it is lovely. These guys haven't pitted yet. Don't worry about the yellow car behind them. He is a lap behind after his early dramas. He'll probably be the quicker of all of them though, because he's on new tyres, but you can disregard where he is in overall position. Groudon's looking like he's struggling a little bit, doesn't he? These guys are due for a pit stop. They're on lap 18. Looking at the clock now, how much longer we got? Still another 15 minutes to go.
I'm quite surprised Tonto Lee hasn't pitted. He's had a lot of traffic to deal with. And I tell you what, the gap now to... where is Kevin disappeared to? Kevin's actually behind Winkleman.
Kevin's behind Winkleman.
Something happened there. We missed that one. So Winkleman through. But still, the gap is only 39 seconds. Actually, these guys are so buried in traffic right now that actually he's lapping about the same speed, even on the older tyres. So it's still working out for Lee out there right now.
Well, let's not forget though, AC, he doesn't have older tyres. These guys are stop and going. They're not putting new tyres on. They're not taking fuel. So, his tyre temperature is up, no worries at all. He's behind Joachim Jung here in another Archipelago car. They've certainly got the boys surrounded tonight through there. So he's just going to continue on. Not sure
commentary
how much
fail on that part. Yeah, totally forgot that. Obviously, with the fresh rubber, he would be undercutting him like crazy. But of course, he's not decided to take that. So they're still just lapping the same sort of time. So what were we looking? We were looking about 30. What was about 30 seconds for a pit stop, something like that. About 35, maybe.
It's been fairly inconsistent, hasn't it? Because there's been guys who've taken on a short amount of fuel. Some have taken fuel and tyres, and like we said with Josh Rogers, he was 7 seconds behind. He's now 58 seconds behind. So it's quite remarkable, actually, that he's actually dropped a further 6 seconds there. So I would imagine there might be a bit of traffic involved. But no, I think at the moment he's certainly very, very comfortable out in front.
Yeah, when will these guys pit? We just have just over 17.5 minutes to do that. So maybe good call for these guys staying out. Obviously, when you're like top 5 car, the back markers tend to get out of the way a little bit easier than if you're trying to lap through and you're sort of 12th, 13th place. So I think these guys actually, so Littlemore and Groden have made the right call by staying out a little bit longer as well. So Paul Lonergan as well. So we'll see how that all pans out. I think your man's about to get back past Ryan as well. He's indeed.
It's really just driving for pride there, and it might pick up a spot or two as that race goes on. But it's a bit of a shame for Zach, because he had probably, I would think, actually the quickest Audi out there, which is for a new guy in this team is really happy with that. But he had a bit of a brain explosion. I'll be the first to say. He might even have a holiday next week. Don't know, but he's certainly quick enough.
Good little 3-car battle starting to form up here. This is between Chris Pauly, DK Lee, and Gary Cousins as well. They're separated by just over a second at the moment, and I think so 6th, 7th, and 8th out there as well. 3 different manufacturers of car as well. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, it is. Just also having a look. I'm just talking further about this series here, if that's all right for a sec, AC. We've got the 11 races, but there's 2 reverse grid races, one at Sonoma in the Cup and also at Silverstone GP. Also, round 10 at Nürburgring combined, 90-minute team race. I'm not sure if that's going to clash with your F1 duties, but I'm already looking for that on the 28th of May.
Yeah, I think there will be some that will clash. We won't be able to cover every round this season, and obviously I'm not in the box for a good part of them as well. So it's going to be yourself and Jake Blackall moving forward.
Yes.
Yes. We're also going to have Scotty Newton in the booth streaming, doing the camera work as well, moving forward. So yeah, just yet another broadcaster with us for Apex Racing TV, which is great to see. I mean. Yeah, I've got 8 broadcasts this week as well. So as a channel, we're moving forward.
Well, sim racing as a whole is moving forward. Esports is taking off, and the live stream of sim races these days just gone above and beyond, and it's fantastic work.
Well, you've only got to look at iRacing Live now. There's pretty much something on every single, every time you click on that, there's a race being broadcasted now, which is great to see, I have to say.
I think it's a significant step, and it's bringing iRacing more, not just to the fans, but to those who are potentially wanting to get into iRacing. I got to admit, I'm not big into Forza and R-Factor and all those things, don't know enough about them, but this is the best sim racing available.
Well, when you look at, we had 53 cars, absolutely every single grid spot taken as well, It's absolutely awesome. And then on the Thursday night, we had the BSR Pro Series that goes out on Motors TV as well. They had over 50 cars on the grid, and that's racing the Kia Optima as well. So. Oh,
those guys are crazy, AC.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Scare of $20,000 as well on that one on the line. So and that's a private league as well, nothing to do with iRacing. Although iRacing are the main sponsor for this season as well. And then, of course, the news out earlier on this month as well with the iRacing World Championship getting itself onto Motors TV as well. So, yeah, like you say, sim racing definitely going places. And I have to say, it's all, I won't show about being biased as well. It's all sort of evolving around iRacing as well at the moment. There's a lot of other great sims out there, but they seem to be the ones that are trying to push it forward beyond the usual leagues that we've had in the past.
Yep, it is. It's moving forward, no doubt at all. And talk about moving forward, Chris Pauly we haven't spoken about in the car 40 Audi. Not sure if he's had a pit stop yet. I'll just check those lap times. No, he hasn't. So that's probably a false gain there. 22nd on the grid, up into 6th in front of him. Also a car, Kul Kyung Gang, has not made a pit stop from 25th on the grid up into 5th, but good to see these guys. I think this is the smart play. Ryan Littlemore's out of the pits now. I think this has been the smart play. Sit, wait, watch.
Kevin coming under a little pressure from Dongwoo Gang now. So 8th and 9th place as they are at the moment, and Kevin's been slowly slipping back, and lap time's much quicker for Dongwoo's having some connection problems also. But that's one thing the McLaren does suffer, is that tyre degradation is a little bit heavy with the car as well. So 12 minutes left, it's really starting to come into effect. So the straight line speed is going to need to use absolutely all of it as he can right now. Let's jump on board with Dongwoo and see if he can actually close up down the straight in the draft. Kevin just having a little wander around. It's closure
double movement.
Not that high. But it's enough to get alongside in the braking zone. You're going to have to go around the outside, leaves a little bit of room on the apex. Oh, he gets a touch, you can hear it and see a little bit of bodywork just dent up as well, but he is through.
He is through, and gee, that's encouraging for the supporters of Audi out there, because made fairly short work. They, as I said earlier in the, actually I think we had a car stuck on the track. Earlier on, we mentioned that the Audi's tyre life is probably a bit stronger than McLaren. Don't forget, they're going to chuck another 10 kilos in this McLaren. It's not going to be as competitive in a week or whenever the update's going to be. So that's very, very encouraging for the Audi. And I can tell you right now, there's a few guys racing in the Blancpain Endurance Series Pro Series coming up who haven't made their mind up yet. I know you're one of them there, AC. I reckon right now you're thinking that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're very undecided at the moment with what car we're going to go for. Hanso Lees has pitted now. He came out a little bit behind Gang there as well, and but he's pitted too, so no issues there for him being held up. So I'm interested to see where's Littlemore come out. So he's down in 10th place. There's still a few cars to pit as well, so good run for him. Obviously, keep an eye on him as he's an Apex driver, of course, and no, I don't mind giving them a shout. Oh, I hear some contact somewhere. Oh, there's a great battle down the straight. Oh, we've got a driver who's losing it. I think that's Rogers there. Does a 360. Manages to collect it back up as well. But the two ahead still just fighting aggressively into turn one. But yeah, they were 3 wide coming off of the going through the oval section.
just had a casual 360-degree turn, doing a lazy 260 kilometres an hour. Didn't touch any car, didn't touch any barrier, locked about 180 kilometres an hour and got straight back into his work, Josh, without dropping position. So got himself a bit of TV time there. Good job to the TTL driver and keeping off the wall. Up into 14th, probably 13th position now. So slight gains, but with that such a long pit stop, that's really put him out of contention. Give a bit of a shout out to, I thinking that this might be, unless someone picked it wrong, the leading Mercedes. Is it Mick Hammond, the car number 1 in 13th place? I think it is Jacek Frazek. No. So the Mercedes looks mildly uncompetitive. Paul Nelson in the rough. We haven't spoken about the rough either, and that's a car that can be used in BES as well. One thing that we have seen so far this season, AC, is that these little numbering system on the windscreen, so you can see where these cars are. That's a massive help, no doubt at all. I'm just trying to find the leading Mercedes, and I think it is Mick Hammond in that car number 1, pretty sure of it in fact. So it's been bitten pretty bad, the Mercedes.
Oh, I was just about to say, let's see the difference in the performance here on the straight line between the McLaren and the Mercedes, but Halabi pits from 23rd place as he was tucked up behind there, so I ain't going to see that one.
No, well, you've got
Paul Nelson into
Mercedes.
the pits. Oh no, he's not into the pits. Sorry, I just looked at the timing screen. Sorry, Mrs. Doing 0.
Nathan Groudon from the lead is taking a pit stop now. I think this is a good job to sit and wait. Oh, that's too fast, surely.
Pulled it over.
Yes. Oh, I'll tell you what, he's not sure he's going to be. That looked like an extremely quick entry.
We'll see if he's got it down in time when he stops. Is it just going to be a couple of seconds stop? Obviously, he's racing Ryan Littlemore in there as well. So Ryan up to 8th. There's a couple of people still to pit.
Nelson is in the pits, and he's got damage. So you're right. He's disappeared.
Oh, he's missed his pit box. Roden missed his pit box and is away. I mean, it was a quick stop, but he still missed it.
Well, let's see where he comes out. Littlemore through. So a good drive here by Ryan Littlemore, the Apex entry. Get someone to make a skin up for that guy, will you, mate? Come on, let's go. Yeah. You're a professional team. Get it done.
Yeah.
Give young Jake a call. He'll make one up for you.
It's being done right now.
Yeah, as you speak, I would imagine you'll be madly typing away. What the hell?
Well, we asked for 3 to be done from our painter, so he's beavering away on those. So
yeah.
Trouble when you get 4 new cars in one build, it takes longer to get them all painted.
Well, he's done a really good job now, has Ryan. So got himself firmly in the top 10. This is from 13th on the grid. So and he's put in good consistent time, so should be really stoked with that. Is Marluna. In the meantime, not sure he'll be sharing that joy, because those tyres in that McLaren are really suffering. And like we said, we've got 46-degree track temperature, but this is I didn't think this would be so harsh on the tyres this race, but it is absolutely murdering these cars.
Hanso Lee able to keep his tyres in check though, so no such problem for him. He lapped 27.6 last time by, so still pulling away from Winkelmann, who's in 3rd place. Of course, Paul Lonergan as well is yet to pit. I'm sure he's going to leave it right to the last minute. He's lapping in the 1:30 last time by, so not the greatest pace. But looking at where he could come out, he could still be on for maybe a 10th place if he, any of these guys just lose a little bit more ground behind. But yeah.
Winkelmann absolutely getting burnt by traffic, finally got cleared, as did Dongwu Gang. So this is going to be our battle here. Dongwu Gang in the car 58 in 4th position, chasing down Anthony Winkelmann. Now that these two guys are clear of that traffic, the race is going to be on. I think Dongwu's going to be slightly quicker than that BMW in front. Certainly will be in a straight line. The marquee Audi there of Dongwu looking absolutely mint, does not have a scratch on it. Not sure the same can be said for Winkelmann. Is there a little bit of damage? No, there's not. So both cars are fairly clean, but Winkelmann doesn't have the ability to have a tow from anyone, so he's going to be very, very vulnerable to that quicker Audi behind him.
Yeah, we know how good Dongwu is as well, so I dare say if he can get a little run, he'll be able to use the performance that he's got in that Audi and just get by. But not going to be easy. Kevin Hung not giving up behind him as well, so that could there's a bit of traffic behind them as well. Just wants to squeeze Kevin up against the wall a little bit. But yeah, 0.6 of a second. So last time by, the difference was we had a 128.2 for Winkelmann. Like you say, traffic really hurt him that lap, but only a 127.9. So 0.3 of a second quicker. Another lap like that and he'll be on him, but he's only going to get about a lap to do a move.
Yep. Actually, I just got a note from Zach Hanlon in regards to that early thing. His screen started stuttering really, really badly, so he was trying to keep it all in a straight line there. So that might explain what happened there. And I don't think he's in the race anymore, so that probably would explain what happened. Though he is out, so unfortunate there for Zach Hanlon.
We have struggled here ourselves, just watching the race with the screen being a little bit jumpy, and it was just really like what. It was Jake, wasn't it? Jake said that his PC couldn't handle it. So when I've got everything maxed out right now, and it is struggling a little bit, I have to say.
Yeah, it might be just a bit of a for the drivers to turn the grandstands off and the spectators off and all that, and
here comes Dongwu.
Be a bit.
See the difference in speed.
Yeah.
Going to clear him completely before the corner. Is able to brake on the normal racing line as long as it doesn't get hit from behind. That's job complete. Lonergan into the pits as well. So Hunter Lee retakes the lead.
So just able to drive around him, wasn't he? Just so easy. I think the Audi's kept its tyres pretty well here. So that's another tick for the Audi. Really, really surprised. I shouldn't talk the Audi up too much because the BOP's coming out hopefully this week, but that's pretty good signs there. The Mercedes is the one that's going to need a bit of work, no doubt at all, and the McLaren needs to slow down. But next week at Spa, and then there's other tracks like Brands Hatch, Silverstone, McLaren's going to really, really struggle there. We saw that last year in the Endurance Pro qualifying series. The McLaren was just a pig compared to the other cars. Shouldn't say it out that loud.
It has a few tracks where it's better at, but trying to balance it, it's just going to be near enough impossible. I think when you take away from like the quick tracks on it, it just becomes nowhere in the slower tracks. So it's that's the problem I think that the developers face, is trying to match them all out. So
with the different tracks, but I think this will be getting close to white flag there, AC.
Yeah, 1 minute 58 seconds, so I think we've probably got another lap going.
Yeah, it's been quite a dominant position,
there's comments being said as well, so the RA is going to have its aero drag reduced, so it's going to breeze past the BMW. But this isn't a track that you try and do a balance of performance on. Yeah, like Monza, those that try and say, well, at Monza the BMW's miles off. Yeah, it is at Monza, but everywhere else it destroys pretty much everything else on the track. So, you can't take its weakest track and try and compare it against another car's, optimal track. So, But
yeah, I think Sebring's a great level. It's got that really long straight, but it's got those tight sections as well. And
yeah, I agree.
You'd really know where you're at Sebring, and I know it's a different surface there, and you might not make the most out of the tyres, but certainly for aero, I think that's probably one of the better tracks to work out where the BOP is really at. But Hyun Soo Lee, we haven't talked about him much because he's been so dominant. He started on pole position, led right from the get-go, and he has done a magnificent job. And he's now out to 11.8. Well, it's close enough to 12 seconds in front.
This is probably going to be the last lap of the race.
Yep.
39 seconds he crossed the line. We go for a little lap on board with him.
Loving the new update too, where you can flash the old headlights too. I'm actually really surprised there hasn't been a lot more doing it. I just saw Hyun Soo doing it then, but I actually don't know who was doing it too because there's no one in front of him. So
more feature, but so important. You know?
Ah, yeah.
And it's those little features that everybody loves as well.
Yep. And a lot of money being spent by iRacing on the sound of the cars too. We had a little bit of sneak peek during the week of the Aussie Commodore V8, and it's a completely different sounding beast now. But
White
from
flag's
what
out.
we understand,
White flag is out as we thought.
Yep.
So this is going to be the last lap for Lee. There's not many battles going on. Winkelmann 7/10 of a second back, but he can't get a run on Dongwoo Gang. Nothing else out there, so we'll stay on board with our leader as he finishes this lap from start to finish, literally off the line. Just floored it and left him, really, didn't he? They started to battle behind, and that's really what opened it up for him.
kept it out of trouble, kept it in the front, stayed out as long as he could. Hyun Soo Lee around this long Indianapolis famous corner, albeit the wrong way, will be the winner of round one of the Sim Racers Asia Championship here at the Indianapolis circuit. Congratulations to him in that McLaren car number 19. A dominant performance.
Yeah, fantastic race. Opening round. Dongwoo Gang, always consistent, always towards the front. Second place as well. You had to work for that and come through. Winkelmann takes third place. I feel like he might be a little bit disappointed with that as well, because he was very quick, but still a podium for him nonetheless. Kevin Hung, fortunately his tyres just didn't hang in there, and he lost too much ground. His teammate Maluna up there again returning, a bit of a favourite of ours, it's fair to say, and reigning champion in his own right. In 5th place, Roden come across in 6th, I believe, and just pipped Ryan Littlemore. So Littlemore couldn't quite hold on, but finishes 7th nonetheless. And then I'm not sure what's going on because my timing screen started to jump all over the place.
Matty Trotman will bring that across in the 8th position in front of Yuko Silvati in 9th place. And Josh Rogers, a good little recovery there, will round out that top 10. So, a solid drive and a good race to watch. Hyun Soo Lee was, well, let's face it, he was dominant, but I think, like we said, he is in the strongest car. Let's see that McLaren come back to the field on tracks that are more suited and more balanced.
Yeah, definitely, I think. So great opening round. Of course, next week we will be at Spa. I don't think we've got anyone covering that one though, unfortunately. I think Scott's not back from holiday, and I'm doing the World Championship race, unfortunately. So we'll miss that one, but we'll be back for round 3. Yeah,
well, I'm hoping we can be back for round 3. So,
yeah, which is Okayama. So
Okayama at reverse grid, maybe I'm thinking too. So
no, that's Sonoma is the reverse grid one.
Sonoma reverse grid, yeah. So good. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what this series can bring, because it is a strong series.
Awesome result then for everybody. Everybody has finished now. Brenton, would you mind just taking us through the final standings?
Can do. Let's go through Hyun Soo Lee. We talked about winning by just over 12 seconds. It doesn't matter, in front of Dongwoo Gang. Anthony Winkelmann, he said that he'd be disappointed from second grid. I don't know. If I was in a BMW at the start of the race and someone offered me 3rd place, you'd take that in a heartbeat, because it's not a BMW track. Kevin Huang in the McLaren, Maluna in the McLaren, Groudon in the BMW, Ryan Littlemore the second of our Audis. I think Ryan will be pretty happy with that. Made a mistake late. That probably cost him that position with Nathan Groudon. Matty Trotman in 8th. Yuko Savati and Josh Rogers ran at 10th. Mick Hammond, the first of our Mercedes. Started 11th, finished 11th, albeit had a bit of damage. Paul Lonergan, Timmy Ballinger in the Mercedes World. Chul Kyun Gang from 25th on the grid, got it up to 14th, so it's a good effort that. Pete Sadler, Chris Pauly, Gary Cousins, DK Lee, 29th up at the 18th, Ben Twiddale, Matt Shinosky, Brodie Morris, just having a look at some good names that we've seen in the past. Jason Benson, the 100 in the Mercedes, Brian Borg, Jakub Frazek, he'd be disappointed there. Fani Lazardy, didn't actually see him racing at all. No doubt I'm thinking he would have been in the McLaren as well. Mark Lang, our host, down in 37th. Paul Nelson, he had dramas late, 7 laps behind, 39th. Zach Hanlon, we talked about. Andrew Booth, I would imagine you'll have a chat this week, young Andrew. Paul Rogers, Damon McPhee. So 50 cars started, 50 cars didn't see the finish, not all 50 made to the finish line. I'd say we would have had 37 finishes.
We didn't see an awful lot of multi-car accidents out there, really. A lot of individual mistakes, I think. And I wonder if that was just... it looked like the guys were struggling really to hold on to tyres at the end. So, perhaps the temperature of the track really just got the better of them. Indianapolis is a bit slippy at the best of times on the road circuit as well. So, it's understandable. Of course, for the drivers, if you want to come in for an interview, it's the same details as before. If you don't know what that is, it is... I will post it in the chat, actually.
Oh, you're going to get inundated with all your Alex Simpson fans there. But a great race, no doubt. But like we said, the bigger tennis track at 1. But as the series goes on, it's just going to even out more and more. And GT3s, they're such a significant car, aren't they? With the partnership that they've got with Blancpain, the official series, and looking forward to seeing what the next few rounds can do.
We have got one driver who was already in the channel as well, so we'll drag him up and have a quick chat with him. Our driver of the number 77 Audi out there, Ryan Littimore. Welcome, Ryan. Great race from you. Unfortunately, you just let 6th place slip away right at the end, but you must be pretty happy with that. Move forward nicely from your qualifying position, and look good.
Yeah, just want to say hello. Hello, Alex. It's been a while. It was a tough race actually for me. Prior to this race, I only did one official GT3 race, which was on the Tuesday, and then I've just been busy with uni, so it's been difficult to get a consistent pace and working on the setup, and it felt pretty good. So I actually wasn't expecting 7th. I was expecting mid-table, mid-pack. There was a few issues with getting through the traffic, through the middle stages, and then out at the end. But unfortunately, made that mistake, which I just was a bit cheeky and tried to be a bit aggressive with the acceleration out of the slow corner. I think it was before the slow chicane section. I think it is before you come back on the
the right-hander, the long right-hander. Yeah,
it was that really just bit me in the backside. But I actually missed the pit stop as well, so I thought I was going to lose out. But luckily, I believe he did as well.
Yeah, Groden missed as well.
Yeah, he missed it. So luckily, I was actually following the stream to see where he was, and went off at the wrong time, so I had no idea where he was. So. But yeah, I'll take the first race in the series for me, my debut. So,
Spa next week, always a bit of a favourite. Of course, track limits always come into play at Spa, so should be a lot of fun again. Obviously, huge draft going down into Lecombe, so plenty of overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a fan of Spa in the GT3s because I did a bit of testing and I really don't like it. So I'm not expecting to be up there with the top 10 runners like I've done today. So I just want to finish that race because, as you said, the 1Xs around there off tracks is just talk about that. But I just want to maintain this as my first season. All I just want to do is just finish the races, get some decent amount of points, and work on for next season.
Awesome, well done, Ryan. Good racing. I think we're back, not for Spa, but I think we missed next week, unfortunately, on the broadcast, but we'll be back after that.
Yep. Thank you.
Right, Brennan, let's wrap that race up for us. Really, what's your closing thoughts on that?
Good way to start, wasn't it? I just think, like I said, I don't think it'll change the rules now. It'd be good to do a bit of fuel restriction there, because not all the guys that we saw that with Josh Rogers and Zach Hanlon, I don't think they understood that it's just literally stop, go, don't take fuel, don't take tires, just get back into it. So it might just need to. It's race one. That might just need to be either explained better or just made some changes there. You can't go past the driver of the day. It has to be Hyun-Soo Lee. That's his debut race. Don't forget, pole position, easy win. Not the worst way to start in the world, but this is a great series and strong field. So looking forward to what the rest can do.
Yep, thanks very much, and thank you for everybody tuning in as well. Don't forget, later on tonight we have got the 2K GT World Cup, and that is coming from the same track as well. So 2K Championship there, back on Apex Racing TV, as well as the the BSR Kia World Series as well. And so both of those going on at the same time, 8 and 9 o'clock, I think. So there'll be a little bit of an overlap between them, but should be an awful lot of fun, both on iRacing Live. So come back. Lots going on here, Apex Racing TV, but we'll be back with the Sim Races Asia in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Alex Simpson, Brenton O'Brien for round 1, Sim Races Asia GT Championship at Indianapolis. Congrats to Hyun-Soo Lee on taking victory.